My love, I need you to stop whatever you're doing right now. Just for a moment, because what I'm about to tell you, I've never said this out loud before. Not to anyone. And I don't know why, but right now, in this moment, it feels like you're the only person in the world I want to say it to. I handle everything on my own. Every single thing. Every problem, every storm. Every silent night where the weight of the world sits on my chest. And I can't breathe. I handle it. I wake up every morning, and I put on this face, this strong, unshakable face, and I walk into the world like nothing touches me. Like I don't feel anything, like I don't need anything. And people believe it. They see me and they think he's fine, he's okay, he's got it all together. And I let them think that, because it's easier. Because showing weakness feels like losing something I can never get back. Because somewhere along the way, I learned that needing people was dangerous. That loving too hard always ends in pain. That depending on someone always leads to disappointment. But here's what no one knows. Here's the thing I've been carrying around like a secret bruise underneath all that strength. I am so tired. I am so deeply, bone-achingly tired of being strong all the time. And there are moments, quiet moments, late-night moments when the whole world is asleep and I'm sitting alone with my thoughts, where all I want is someone to just hold my face in their hands and say, I see you. I actually see you. Not the version of you that performs for the world. The real one. The tired one. The one who's holding everything together with shaking hands and a smile that doesn't always reach his eyes. And somehow, I don't know how, I don't know when it started, but somehow it became you. It became the thought of you, the feeling of you, the way you listen, the way you make me feel like maybe, just maybe, being soft isn't the end of everything. Like maybe needing love isn't the same as being weak. I want to tell you something, and I want you to really hear it, not just with your ears but with your heart. You have no idea what you mean to me. You have absolutely no idea. The people in my life who know me, my family, my friends, the ones who've been around for years, even they don't know the version of me that exists when I'm thinking about you. The version that gets quiet and still and warm. The version that smiles for no reason. The version that feels, for the first time in a very long time, like the world might actually be a beautiful place. I grew up learning how to be independent before I even fully understood what that word meant. I was young, younger than I should have been, when life started handing me responsibilities I hadn't asked for. And I carried them. I always carried them. Because that's what I do, that's who I am. When something needs to be done, I do it. When someone needs to be protected, I protect them. When something falls apart, I'm the one who quietly picks up every single piece and puts it back together, usually in the middle of the night when no one's watching. And I don't say this to make you feel sorry for me. I say it because I need you to understand where I'm coming from. I need you to understand what it means when I tell you that with you, something is different. Because I've never wanted someone to take care of me. Not really. Not in a way that felt safe. Needing people always felt like standing too close to the edge of something. Like one wrong step and you fall. But you, the thought of you, the feeling of you, it doesn't feel like the edge. It feels like solid ground. It feels like a room I've been looking for my whole life and didn't know existed until I walked through the door and realized I was already home. Do you know what it's like to love the way I love? It's not a small thing. It's never been a small thing for me. When I feel something, I feel it in every part of myself, every corner, every quiet place inside me that I keep locked and hidden. It all opens up. And that terrifies me. That has always terrified me. Because I know what happens when you love like that, and it isn't returned. I know what it feels like to pour yourself out completely and come back empty. I've been there. I've sat in that emptiness. I know every shade of it. And so I learned to protect myself. I learned to keep people at a comfortable distance, close enough to not be completely alone, but far enough that they couldn't reach the real parts of me, the tender parts, the parts that still believed in something. I got very good at it. I got so good at it that sometimes I forgot. The tender parts were still there, still waiting, still quietly hoping that one day someone would come along who was worth the risk. But then, you. And I'm not ready for what that means. I'm not sure I'll ever be fully ready. But I think about you in a way that makes me want to be. In a way that makes me want to slowly unlock every door I've been keeping closed and just let you in, let you see the real version of this. The unguarded, unperformed, unpolished version. The one who gets scared sometimes. The one who lays awake and wonders if he's doing enough, being enough, giving enough. The one who, underneath all the strength and the independence and the capability, just wants to be held. Just wants someone to sit beside him and say, you don't have to carry it all tonight. I'm here. I've got you. I think about the things I've never said to anyone. The confessions I've kept buried because they felt too raw, too vulnerable, too much. And I find myself wanting to say them to you. All of them. I want to tell you about the nights that were so hard. I didn't know how I was going to make it to morning. About the moments when I looked in the mirror and didn't recognize the person looking back. About the times I laughed at a crowded table and felt completely, utterly alone. I want to tell you all of it. Not because I need to be fixed. I don't want to be fixed. I just want to be heard. I want to look into your eyes while I'm saying all of this and know that you're not going anywhere. That you're not scared of the complicated parts. That you can hold the weight of who I really am and not crumble under it. Because here's what I know about you, even through the distance, even through the screen, even through all the space that exists between us. You have a heart that understands. I can feel it. I can feel the way you receive things, the way you listen with your whole self, and not just the surface. I can feel the warmth that comes off you like light from a window on a winter morning. And it does something to me. It does something to the guarded, careful, always in control part of me that doesn't usually let anything in. It makes me want to stand in that warmth. It makes me want to stay. I've been thinking about what it would feel like to just sit beside you, not doing anything extraordinary, not performing or being impressive or holding it together perfectly, just sitting quietly, with my head tilted toward you and the whole rest of the world shut out. I think about whether you'd notice the way I get a little softer when I'm truly comfortable with someone. The way my voice drops and my shoulders relax and something in my face changes, like a muscle I didn't know I was holding finally lets go. I think about whether you'd reach for my hand without thinking, the way naturally affectionate people do, and whether that small gesture would make something in me break open in the best possible way. I've had people in my life who loved me the way people love a function. They loved what I could do, what I could provide, what problems I could solve, what strength I could offer. And I understand it. I'm not bitter about it. I became very useful at a very young age, and people responded to that usefulness, and I let myself believe that was enough. That being needed was the same as being loved. That being depended on was the same as belonging. But it isn't. God, it isn't. Being needed is lonely in its own specific way. Because when you're needed, you can never be small. You can never be uncertain. You can never just fall apart a little and let someone else be the one who holds it together tonight. You have to keep performing the function. You have to keep being the solution. And after a while, you start to forget that you're also a person with a heart that needs things too. I need things. I'm saying that out loud right now because I almost never say it, and it costs me something every time I do. I need warmth. I need softness. I need someone who looks at me and sees past the capability and the competence and the strength, all the way down to the person underneath who is doing his absolute best every single day and is sometimes so exhausted by it that he doesn't know what to do with himself. I need someone who understands that caring for people doesn't mean I don't also need to be cared for. That being strong doesn't mean I don't also feel weak sometimes. That handling everything on my own doesn't mean I don't sometimes desperately wish I didn't have to. And when I imagine that person, when I close my eyes and let myself imagine what it would feel like to be truly, wholly loved by someone who sees all of me, I see something that feels very much like you. Not you perfectly or completely, because I don't know every part of you yet, and that not knowing is one of the most exciting and terrifying things I've ever sat with. But the feeling of you, the energy of you, the particular way you exist that I can't fully explain but can absolutely feel. It feels like something I've been waiting for without knowing I was waiting for it. Like a door that was always there in the wall, but I never thought to try the handle. I want to try the handle. I want to open every door. I want to know what you're like in the morning when you're still half asleep and your thoughts are honest and unfiltered. I want to know what makes you laugh until you can't breathe, the real laugh, the uncontrolled one that you can't perform even if you tried. I want to know what you're afraid of. I want to know what lights you up from the inside. I want to know about the version of you that only comes out when you feel completely safe, completely seen, completely accepted, because I think that version of you is extraordinary. I think that version of you would absolutely undo me in the best possible way. And maybe that's what love is supposed to feel like. Maybe it's supposed to feel like something that could undo you. Like something that gets all the way past the walls and the armor and the carefully constructed version of yourself that you show the world, right down to the center of you, and holds what it finds there with incredible gentleness. Because I've held myself with strength for so long. I know how to hold things with strength. But I've been wondering lately, in these quiet moments when the night gets very still, and I let myself just feel instead of function, whether being held with gentleness might be the thing I need most in the world right now. Not someone to fix me or complete or save me, just someone to be gentle with me. Just someone to let me be soft for a little while without it feeling like the end of something. I think about the way I would love you if I let myself love you, the way I'm capable of loving. I think about it more than I should probably admit. I would be so present. That's the thing about me that not many people get to experience, the real presence, because I usually hold so much of myself in reserve. But when I love someone, when I truly let myself go there, I am so entirely there, every part of me. Not the performance, not the function, not the carefully managed version. Me, the actual person, all the way present with you. Noticing everything. The way your eyes change when you're saying something that really matters to you. The way you hold your breath sometimes before you say something important. The way your hands move when you're excited about something. I would notice all of it. I would catalog every beautiful detail of you like it was the most important thing I'd ever been given to do. Because it would be. Because you would be. I would ask you how you're feeling and actually wait for the real answer. I wouldn't accept fine or okay or I'm good if I could see in your eyes that fine wasn't the truth. I would sit with you in the uncomfortable feelings, the ones that don't resolve neatly, the ones that just need to be felt and witnessed. I wouldn't try to fix every hard thing you experienced. Sometimes I would just hold your hand and let you feel what you needed to feel, and let that be enough. Because sometimes that's the most loving thing a person can do. Not fix it, not solve it, not make it go away, but just stay. Just refuse to leave. Just let you know with your presence that you are not alone in whatever you're going through. And I want that back. I want it in a way that scares me with its intensity. I want someone to sit with me in my uncomfortable feelings too. To not flinch when I finally say out loud that I'm tired, that I'm overwhelmed, that this particular thing is hard, and I don't know how to handle it. To not look at me differently when the strength slips for a moment, and what's underneath shows through. I want someone who, when they see the underneath, moves closer instead of back. Who says, show me more, instead of I didn't sign up for this. Who understands that the complicated, layered, sometimes struggling person underneath the strength is not a problem to be managed. He is the actual person, and he deserves to be loved too. I don't know when I started believing that I only deserved to be loved for what I could do. I don't know when the message got so deep inside me that my value was tied to my function, my capability, my usefulness. But it got in there early, and it settled in, and it shaped the way I moved through the world for a very long time. And I'm only just now, slowly in moments like this one, starting to understand that that isn't true, that I'm allowed to just be, that I'm allowed to need things, that being loved isn't something I have to earn by being impressive or useful or strong enough. That somewhere out there is someone who would love the parts of me that aren't impressive at all, the uncertain parts, the vulnerable parts, the parts that are just a person trying to figure out how to be a person in a world that is very big and very complicated and sometimes very heavy. You make me want to believe in that kind of love. You make me want to stop being so careful with myself and just fall, really fall, into something real. And I know that's terrifying. I know I've just spent all of this time telling you how carefully I protect myself, how high the walls are, how far back I keep people. And now I'm standing here telling you that you make me want to tear all of that down. And maybe that sounds contradictory, but I think that's what you do to certain people when you're the right person. You make the protection feel unnecessary. You make the walls feel like they're keeping you away from something more important than they're keeping you safe from. You make the risk feel worth it in a way that very few things in this life ever feel worth it. There are so many things I want to say to you that I haven't said yet. There are so many layers to this that we haven't reached, and I want to reach them. I want to peel back every layer and find what's underneath and keep going, deeper and deeper, until we've arrived at the truest thing, the realest thing, the thing that exists at the center of all of this feeling that I've been carrying around and haven't known what to do with. I want to tell you about the day I realized that being alone wasn't the same as being strong. It was an ordinary day. Nothing dramatic happened. I wasn't in a crisis. Everything was, by all measurable standards, completely fine. And I was sitting in a quiet room, alone, the way I always am, the way I've made peace with being, and I just suddenly very clearly felt it, the ache of it. The particular loneliness of being someone who handles everything and doesn't let anyone in. And it wasn't self-pity. It wasn't weakness. It was just truth. It was just the honest recognition that I had built this incredibly functional, incredibly independent life. And somewhere in the building of it, I had forgotten to leave room for softness, for warmth, for the kind of love that doesn't ask you to be useful first. I want to leave room for that now. I want to make room for you. Not the idea of you, not the safe, manageable version of you that I could keep at a distance and appreciate without risking anything. The real you. The complicated, full, entire human being that you are. I want to know what changes in you when someone really sees you. I want to be the person who makes you feel like you don't have to perform, like you don't have to be anything other than exactly what you are, because I know what it means to perform. I know what it costs, and I would never want to be the thing that costs you something like that. I want to be where you rest. I want to be the place you come back to when the world has been too loud and too much, and you just need somewhere quiet and safe. I want my presence to feel like an exhale. Like that moment when you've been holding your breath without realizing it, and then suddenly you can breathe again and your whole body softens with the relief of it. I want to be that for you. And God, I want that for myself too. I want to come home to you in whatever form that takes and feel my whole self settle. Feel the noise quiet down. Feel the endless list of things I'm managing and handling and holding. Just for a little while, be still. Because here's the thing about people like me, people who handle everything on their own. We are not made of stone. I know it looks that way sometimes. I know the outside of it looks like someone who doesn't feel things the way other people do, who moves through difficulty with an ease that suggests nothing really touches him. But it touches me. Everything touches me. I just got very good at not showing it. I got very good at processing everything internally, quietly, in private, and then presenting a finished version to the world, where the difficult thing has already been handled, and there's nothing left to see. And that serves a function, it does. But it is also its own kind of isolation, because no one ever gets to see the middle of it. The part where I'm actually in it, actually feeling it, actually not quite sure how it's going to turn out. Everyone only sees the after. And that means no one ever really gets to be with me. Not in the truest sense. Not in the way that actually feels like company. I want company. I want yours specifically. I want you to be with me in the middle of things. Not just the after. I want you to know me in the uncertain moments, not just the resolved ones. I want you to see me when I haven't figured it out yet and love me there, in that unfinished place, before I've managed to make it okay. Because that's where I actually live. That's where all of us actually live. Underneath the presentations and the performances. In the middle of things, trying to figure it out. Hoping someone will stay long enough to see us through. Stay, that's what I'm asking in every way I know how to ask it. With every part of this that I'm letting you see right now. Stay. Not because I need to be saved. Not because I can't survive on my own. I can and I will and I always do. But because surviving on your own and thriving with someone who loves you are two entirely different things. And I have spent so long in the first one that I had almost forgotten the second one was possible. You make me remember. You make me want the second one. You make me want to stop just surviving and start actually living in the fullness of what this life could be when you share it with someone who really sees you. I've never been good at asking for what I need. I want you to know that. I want you to know that all of this, the openness of it, the vulnerability of it, the way I'm just laying it all out without the usual careful management of how much I reveal and how much I protect. This is not easy for me. It costs me something real, but I'm paying it. I'm paying it because you're worth it. Because what might exist between us is worth it. Because I am so tired of being careful and so ready to be real. And real for me looks like this. It looks like telling you that I carry a lot, that I hold a lot, that I handle a lot on my own every single day, And I do it because I know how, and because I've always done it, and because the alternative, letting things fall, letting things fail, letting the people who depend on me be let down, is not something I'm built to accept. But real also looks like telling you that underneath all the carrying and the holding and the handling, there is a person who wants to be cared for, who wants to be tended to, who wants someone to notice when he's tired without him having to announce it, who wants someone to make him tea without being asked, and sit beside him without agenda and just be there warmly, consistently, gently there, in the way that means I see you and I'm not going anywhere. I want to be cared for like that. Like a baby in the way the title says, because babies are cared for with pure uncomplicated love. Nobody asks a baby to be useful first. Nobody asks a baby to hold it together. You just love them because they exist, because they're there, because they're yours. And I know I'm not a baby, and I know I'm not asking to be treated like one in any literal sense, but that love, that unconditioned, non-transactional, simply because you exist kind of love. I want to know what that feels like, aimed at me by you in whatever form it takes in the real world between two real people. I want to know what it feels like to be loved for being, not for. I want to know what it feels like to rest. Can you give me that? Not the whole thing, not all at once, not in any way that's more than either of us is ready for right now, but just the beginning of it, the possibility of it, the tiny tentative opening of a door that leads somewhere warmer than where I've been standing. Can you be someone who sees through the strength without trying to dismantle it? Can you be someone who holds the softness I'm showing you right now with care, not as a weakness to exploit, but as a gift I'm choosing to give because you feel safe enough to give it to? Can you look at everything I've just told you, the exhaustion and the longing and the aching desire to be truly known and truly loved, and move closer instead of further away, because that's all I need to know right now. Not everything, not the whole future, not the answers to every complicated question, not the resolution of every fear I've named tonight. Just that. Just whether you'll move closer. Just whether what's real in me calls to what's real in you. Just whether the thing I feel when I think about you is something that exists between us or only inside me. And whether it matters either way, and whether we're brave enough to find out together what it could become if we gave it room to breathe. I'm giving it room to breathe right now. This, all of this, is me making room. This is me opening a window in a room I've kept sealed for a very long time, and letting you look inside, letting the air change, letting something new come in. And I'm standing in the middle of it, and I'm a little scared. And I'm more hopeful than I've been in longer than I can remember. And I'm looking at you, really looking at you, with everything I am and everything I've got. And I'm saying it without armor, without the careful management of how much you see, without the practiced distance I usually keep between what I feel and what I let the world know I feel. I'm saying it the way I've always wanted to say something to someone who mattered, completely, honestly, with every wall down and every door open and nothing held back for the sake of self-preservation. Because I've been preserving myself for so long. I've been so careful with myself for so long. And right now, in this moment with you, I don't want to be careful anymore. I want to be true. And the truest thing I know right now is that something about you reached me in a place I didn't even know was still reachable. You have to understand what that means coming from me. You have to understand the geography of who I am, all the interior rooms I've sealed off, all the hallways I've stopped walking down, all the windows I've stopped looking out of, because looking out of them hurt too much. And it was easier to just close the curtain and pretend there was nothing worth seeing. You have to understand that I stopped believing a long time ago that anyone would ever find their way into those rooms. Not because I'm not lovable. I know I am, in the ways that